Well, cool, guys. So let's take advantage of our last week together. We basically, January was to build from the ground up, right? If you're going to meditate, you might as well maximize your time. Meditate within a proven system. Those that meditate within a systems approach will progress, and those that don't will not. So sometimes, this works for everything, right? Project management, product development, right? Work, relationship management. We need a system for it to work, for us to be stronger. And so we forget that at times. And we forget it too when we close our eyes. So for some reason, when we close our eyes, we, all hell breaks loose. But in all honesty, your internal reality, your internal world, it requires a systems approach, right? And so a lot of our external world doesn't really respect the systems approach. So for our kind of broken healthcare system, for example, you have your specialty liver doc, you have your specialty kidney doc, and they're treating their parts, and they're forgetting about the whole person you are. And that's changing slowly but surely. But that's just one example of just why systems are important. So if you've learned one thing these 4 weeks, remember a systems approach to your yoga practice. You'll maximize your time and effectiveness. And so what did we do in that system? At the first week, we talked about relaxation and how relaxation is that foundational preparation practice to enhance your meditation. So relaxation is done in Shavasana on our back to completely relax, to honor our low back muscles, especially for our modern culture. And then the second week, we talked about stillness. And the brilliance about the system is relaxation informs stillness, right? So as you relax, your body becomes, you reach a refined state of stillness. And then once you're still, you realize that last week we dove into relaxed breathing. And I asked, I think the majority of you were on last week, I asked you, what is relaxed breathing? And you're like, well, gosh, I'm not so sure, right? It was kind of, you had an idea, but really putting details to relaxed breath. So we talked about mechanics of physical breathing, and the 5 qualities of producing a relaxed state of breathing. And do you guys remember those 5 qualities? You want to rattle them off, Patty? Or Mary or Sarah? Not Megan.
Breathing through the nose.
Okay, yeah, that's physical mechanics. So a smooth breath.
Yes, a smooth. Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Smooth breath, an even breath, a quiet breath, a continuous breath, and a deep breath. And the brilliance of that breathing system is it builds on one another, right? There's a reason why you start with smoothness, because it builds evenness. Evenness builds quiet. Quiet builds continuous, and continuous builds deepness, right? If you were to start with a deep breath, you were to get those, jerks and unevenness that you wouldn't necessarily want, because our desire in meditation is to move inward, right? And so we're in stillness, we're focused on relaxed breath, physical sensation in the body, and then we pay attention to moving inward. We pay attention to the flow of breathing, right? It's just a different aspect of the breath. And the flow of breath leads us into pranic sensitivity, right? And so prana is the energetic body, energetic layer, energy system of yoga, just as chi would be the energy system of Chinese medicine, let's say. And so the breath is a manifestation of that energetic body. And so yogic science tells us that relaxed breath and flow of breath will lead us into becoming more sensitive of our energetic body. Okay. And so all that aside, the flow of breath will lead you inward, right? It will lead you to a quiet place and a place that is a purely mental focus, right? When we're in that mental focus, it'll lead us inward to the sound. Um, and a sound is represented as the mantra, and a mantra is a word or phrase that protects and guides the mind, right? So a mantra that we'll do tonight is the So Hum mantra, and it really follows the breath. And so the breath is still the flow of breath we're paying attention to, and then we'll introduce the sound of breath, which is so on inhale, the whole length of inhale, and hum on exhale. And whether you're thinking about this sound or remembering this sound because you've practiced so much, the point is to let the breath guide and invite the sound of the breath forward, right? And so your inner voice will be reciting so the whole length of inhale and hum the whole length of exhale. And in mantric science, the sound retains the meaning of the word, right? So the meaning of the word soham is I am that I am, that most auspicious thing, that specialness inside of us, let's say. But really, in meditation, in mantra practice, we focus on the sound, right? And that's been lost in modern society. We focus on the meaning of words. And if the words don't have any meaning, it's nonsense. But when you turn back the dial on Sanskrit as the language, each phoneme it's a scientific language. So each phoneme, each letter has a particular sound, which if the sounds are consistent from 1,000 years ago to today, you have those same sounds retained, right? Versus, the English language has been a little bastardized over the years, to say the least, right? It's considered a dirty language. Nothing against English, love the English language. It's just, just one example of this is peace in the world. I want peace in the world, and you can have a piece of this, let's say, right? Two words spelled totally different, and you just don't know left from right in the English language. And so, kind of on a tangent, right? That was a sidetrack. The point is, during meditation, mantra guides the mind, and the guiding is in repeating the sound. Okay, going back to our Christian roots, if you will, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh. The Word, when you start to produce that sound, it starts to tie your thoughts to meaning, right? It starts to put meaning to it, right? Without words, there is no meaning, right? And there's two aspects of words. There's the sound and the meaning of that word. And the sound and the meaning of the word are actually equal in mantric literature. And so with that, we're going to have a wonderful practice focused on the flow of breathing, and then a mental focus leading you inward, right? And so we're going to take a progressive approach like a systems approach would do, right? Building off the other. And so let's get to practice. Let's take a relaxation at first to really prepare our mind, body, and breath. So feel free to leave yourself on video, take yourself off video, totally up to you. But come into Shavasana. Great. And in Shavasana, first address your posture. Make sure you're absolutely comfortable and you've set yourself up for success. making any adjustments that you need. And then starting this inward journey, we start in the room around you, right? Recognizing the sounds, recognizing your body uh, in space. And then invite your attention inside the body. So the back of the body touching the floor. Shoulders, jawline softening. Bring your attention to the fall and rise of your abdomen. Physical sensation of your breathing. Now you see the lens of your relaxed body through the breath, through inhale, bringing in fresh energy, nourishment. And exhale, releasing fatigue, any stuffness. And then follow your exhale down the body to your toes. And follow your inhale up the body to the crown of your head. Continue in this fashion, letting the breath be deep and slow, exhaling down the body to your toes. Inhaling up the body to the crown of your head. It's a sweeping breath. And you'll find a pace of breath that works for you. In the beginning, you're watching the flow, right? Your mind is watching the flow of breath, exhaling down the body to your toes, inhaling up the body. As you continue to advance in your practice, the mind is in the flow. And then moving at your own pace, go ahead and follow the next exhale down the body to your ankles. And then inhale back to the crown of your head. The same fashion, just now exhaling down to your ankles. Inhaling to the crown of your head. Now follow your next exhale when it's your right pace, down to your knees. Inhale, back to the crown of your head. As you exhale down to your knees, your breath is still slow and deep, guiding your awareness, and your lower legs are now resting and out of your awareness. Now exhaling down to the base of your spine. Inhale to the crown of your head. As you shorten the physical space of your breathing, the breath is still slow and deep and becomes almost more expansive. And your job is just to follow, not to try to manipulate the breath, but just relax. Now sweeping the exhale down to your navel. Inhale to the crown of your head. Now follow your next exhale down to your heart center. Inhale to the crown of your head. Now exhale down to the center of your throat. Inhale to the crown of your head. Now exhale down to the center of your head. Inhale to the crown of your head. Now, seemingly a short space to travel, your breath is still slow and deep and even more expansive. And then follow your next exhale down your nose. Inhale up your nose to your forehead. And take 5 slow, deep breaths in this fashion, exhaling down your nose. When you want to inhale, your body is ready. Inhale up the nose to your forehead. Then see your entire body relaxed and breathing. Your breath offers a healing environment for your body, mind, and spirit. And to consciously connect with this healing energy of the breath is a game changer. Right, then begin to move the body, the hands and feet. Eventually you'll roll to one side and pause. Then press up into and find your meditation seat. That's amazing. You just came from a relaxation. You set yourself up for success in your meditation seat. And again, you've got to revisit from the ground up because it'll be more effective in the long run. Where we get in trouble is when we try to skip steps. So the more advanced you get in your meditation, the more you honor the step-by-step approach. I've heard it called meditating slower. I really like that. You can recognize the body in the room. Then invite your attention to your body sitting upright, your shoulders, jawline release. Then bring your attention to the physical sensations of breathing. Here at your midsection, floating ribs, upper abdomen. Here it's like as you advance, it's more like a checklist. Preferably breathing through the nose. And the qualities of breath bring in smoothness, evenness, quiet, continuous, and deep. And you really spend time in those details. The practice is fleshing out those details. And so recommend on your own, just call to mind smoothness and ask yourself, is my breath smooth or jerky? Is my breath even? The length of my inhale, exhale even or uneven? Is my breath quiet, going into that quietude? Or are there noises happening? Is your exhale and inhale continuous, or is there a pause, holding a breath in between inhale and exhale? Recognize your breath has deepened, will deepen over practice. Now just take your awareness, maybe a foot in front of your body, keeping your eyes closed. Now see the flow of breath at the nostrils and see the physical movement of breathing at the abdominal region, midsection. Do you take in the breath? The air enters the nostrils and expands the lungs. Feeling any expansion through the abdomen, floating ribs. Exhale, these movements, muscles recoil, and the air flows out the nostrils. The two are just different aspects of the same breath. They reinforce each other. And so now gradually invite your attention to purely the flow of breath at the nostrils. Here you can feel a gentle cooling sensation on inhale, gentle warming sensation on exhale. These sensations deepen your experience. So now invite the sound of the breath forward. So an inhale and hum an exhale. And the breath, flow of the breath still is the leader. And the sound of the breath literally reflects the breath. And the sound of breath becomes a wonderful feedback loop to you, for you to reinforce the flow of breath, as well as a purely mental focus to draw you inward. and through the meditation, relaxing your effort. Going deeper into the sound, so hum. Yes, it still follows the flow of breath, but so hum becomes a more featured aspect of your focus. As it continues to follow the breath. Peace, peace, peace. Don't let the sound, gradually let the sound of the mantra rest deep in the mind field. It's always there to witness. And take your hands to your heart center. And with a sense of gratitude, acknowledge the practice, you showing up to the practice. And connecting with this experience consciously. Well, bringing into mind your intention behind why you show up, why you meditate. Articulating that to yourself silently. And then begin to bring yourself outward, maybe opening the eyes and the palms. And joining the group.